Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena, our next video with the new cards from Crimson Vow is a familiar color pair to fans of the channel. It's blue and black. It's DIMIR. It's exploit control. It's kind of hard to find an apt name for it because it does a number of different things, but it's aggressive, but it's also controlling, but it's also aggressive. Don't tell me it's not aggressive. It's a little all over the place, so let's cover the new cards right away. First of all, Overcharged Amalgam. This is a 2 blue flash flying exploit 3/3 zombie horror. It's a rare from the new set, and when it exploits a creature, meaning it enters the battlefield, it creates a trigger, you can choose to sacrifice a creature or not sacrifice a creature. If you do sacrifice a creature, then you get the ability. And in this case, the ability is to counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. If it's a little thing on the stack on the right of the screen, the Overcharge Amalgam can counter it. Now, some things to know about exploit. You can sacrifice an exploit creature to itself to achieve the effect. Overcharge Amalgam can self-exploit. But you do have to sacrifice a creature to the exploit trigger. So one way to counter an exploit card is when it enters the battlefield, if there's only one creature to exploit, or if you can somehow kill multiple creatures at instant speed. If you remove all the creatures to exploit and nothing gets sacrificed to the trigger, then you counter the ability. Pretty rare, not seeing it too much, but just something to know with how the stack works. But for 4 mana, getting a 3/3 flash flyer, it's a really sneaky card. It gets around Test of Talents and Negate to counter key spells. It doesn't get around Disdainful Stroke, but you don't see that too much these days. And it definitely can help apply Clock. It can attack and block, that is. It can ambush an opponent's attacking creature. It can surge in for that lethal damage. So this is a card I was really hyped about when I saw it on the spoiler, but wasn't sure what home it would fit into, and maybe we found a good one. Other new card is Fellstinger. This is a 3/2 for 3. It's a zombie scorpion with Death Touch, and it also exploits. When it exploits a creature, target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. That is some nice value if you have something you don't mind sacrificing, but it also does a lot of damage, both from attacking and it can target the opponent. If you head upstairs with the sting of the scorpion, it can be lethal even though they are drawing cards. Then we have 2 copies of Graph Reaver, a 3rd exploit card for the exploit tribal strategy. This is a zombie warrior, 2 mana for a 3/3. When it exploits a creature, destroy target planeswalker. At the beginning of your upkeep, it deals 1 damage to you. So not the nicest card to have sitting around, but it does add to the clock like many other things. And it gives you a way to pick off planeswalkers, which is sometimes a thing. I mean, the occasional Wrenn and 7 must die. Sorin's a new card that might need to be devoured. So our new cards in the deck are all exploit cards, 10 of them. Now we get into basically building around those exploit cards, and we have 4 copies of Eye Twitch, 4 copies of Shambling Ghast, and 4 copies of Skyclave Shade. This card really adds to the clock that the deck is able to produce, and since it has other controlling elements, the fact that it can't block doesn't punish us as much as you'd think that it does. Anytime you play a land, you can bring this bad mamma jamma back from the graveyard to the battlefield, ready to be exploited further, and then play it back anytime you draw more land. For Deadly Disputes, because we like cards, we like treasures, why the heck not? And then sort of the control element of the deck, all of this can play like kind of an odd beatdown strategy, but then we just happen to have 4 copies of the Mythic Massacre, which can be a burn finish in kind of an aggro-y way, or can completely dominate the battlefield against white. And we have 4 copies of Divide by Zero to either put off the opponent's combo finishes with Alrund's Epiphanies, or against the aggro decks to return Mythic Massacre to our hand and then sweep their board. In the lands special edition, we got some Hall of the Storm Giants to help finish opponents off, Field of Ruin, and it's actually a good combo with Skyclave Shade, able to bring it back at instant speed. No, this doesn't have flash, never mind. But you know what I mean. Like, you run out of lands to play, you can sacrifice this, go get the Shade. We've also got 3 Hives because we really like black mana and the creature lands are good. And we got 2 Agadeem's Awakenings because we do have a curve of things we could bring back in theory. In the late game, we've got Lessons in the sideboard. This adds a green pip to our deck box on Arena, and I think that's ugly, but strictly the right thing to have in this particular build because you need things to exploit. So far, the deck has performed admirably. I'm actually 5-1. Dude, actually 5-1 on ladder, bringing the W's all over the place. Curious to see if we can keep it up. In today's battles, you'll see a deadly showdown with Death Touch Tribal. You'll see Overcharged Amalgam countering a Faceless Haven activation, and I think it was actually the right play. You'll see a very messy mono-white Meathook massacre. We'll get our daily reminder of how Indestructible works, and we'll set a world record for the number of times our opponent activates the Celestis against us. So I think you're going to enjoy the games. Let's dive in. Let the nonsense begin. Shade, Stinger. On the draw is kind of sad, but we do have Meathook Divide. Meathook Divide is pretty good. It's not good against green, though, to be honest. It's a little too slow against green, and so is having a creature that can't block. So I'm kind of happy we drew the Reaver. Alright, well, they're both 1 toughness. That makes Meathook look better. But they're probably going to play something juicy for a 4-drop, aren't they? Man, if I were on the play, I'd have swept both of those with a Meathook, and it would be a totally different game. Let's hope they play a bunch of 1 toughness creatures. Make it my birthday. 1/2, Death Touch. 1/2, Death Touch. What the heck is going on? Okay, then. Do we try to wait for 1 more land? I guess so, because we have Divide by 0, so... Easy. What is going on? Finn! Okay. We wait till the attacks happen. Am I blocking any of this? My Reaver is holding off a lot of damage from the Cobra. So, now that we're in combat, but before blocks, I'm going to try to hit the Finn. They don't have a Snakeskin Veil. Let's go get Sciences so we find land. And... no blocks. I'll gain the life back. Okay. Deck is being ornery. Alright, we're going to use the Deadly Dispute. We're going to get a lot of poison, though. So be it. Lots of poison and then a big hook. Our opponent's deck is working like a charm. Exactly how they dreamed it could. Okay. Seems bad. Are they going to chicken out of attacking with Finn? They are. Will we find a land? My goodness, the deck is ornery today. The deck is very, very ornery. Land. It's embarrassing I have to leave something alive here. I'm disappointed in myself. Oh, they opened the door. They opened the door to the emotes. What am I supposed to do here? I'm at 15, so I can take some damage. I could just play out these shades and then use the stinger to draw some cards. I could hold up the amalgam to counter something. I'm gonna play the shades. There's another Death Toucher. Tapped creatures have Death Touch. Untapped creatures have Hexproof. Deck, what are you doing? Say go and counter something? If they're gonna stare at me, I stare at them? No, we've got to draw land sometime, right? Although this divide by 0 gets it. All right, we'll just say go. We'll just say go. We're either going to play an overcharge amalgam or we're going to divide something by 0, maybe the hook, and get another sciences, because that's the only way I'm drawing land today. Oh my goodness. So we can counter that. We can also bounce it in combat. I think we just counter it. It's too dangerous to be left alive. Overcharge, baby. Exploit. Let's check out these sick animations. All right, 2 fins down, 2 left in the deck. Let's see how many our opponent can draw. What you doing, opponent? Combo Nation. That's a hexproof death touch. No blocks. They got me there. All right, I think it's time to counter race them. You want to block that shade? They do want to block that shade. Didn't see that coming. I'm drawing cards. We're doing it. We are an exploitation machine. Also, I've got a Death Touch blocker for the Viper's Fang, so that's fun. Opponent's reading it like, oh, I want that. I'm gonna put that in my mono green deck. Maybe I could be talked into black for that. Yeah, I understand. Failed muncher of horses. Okay then. Vorinclex go. Sweet. We're going to need more Death Touch. I'm going to punch this mic until I get my way. All right, sack the Twitch. Self-target again. Fumes? That's a big critter. Probably needs some fumes. Two Death Touchers and a 3/3. What could the opponent draw that just wrecks me here? They're gonna give this thing Death Touch, so I can take a lot of damage. Aggro. Vorin frickin' Klex, huh? Maybe I was supposed to divide it. There's probably some cheesy ways I lose now. No attacks. Our opponent respects Death Touch. I can almost kill him. It's really close. I guess they have to block a few things and they lose one of these and they lose 2 life and they go to 4/2 and then I just need to kill the last 2. So I think I can kill him. We'll see if I messed up the math. I mean, they're going to 2 here. So then all I have to do is meat hook away my last 2 creatures. Pew! Game. Nice. On the play. Here we go. Gassed Graph Fell. It's a party in the USA. Even if I take 3 to do it, and then another 1 for myself. All right. All right, who invited this party pooper? So now do I have to slow down? Maybe taking 3 to my own face when I plan to lose all this life is a bad idea. Yep, now we're a control deck. Lame. Wow. Just in there. Just right in there. All right, we really need to find a hook. This can draw, but so does Fellstinger, and that's way better. Let's grab those pests. Okay, I get it. Fellstingers, we've got those. I get it. Hook. Not hook. But we've got this 3-2. Opponent will probably figure out a way to kill it, though. Or not. Not as good. If they take, they might take the pesties. The pesties produce the other Fellstingers. Let's see what they pick. They take one of the Scorpions. Okay. I'm gonna start leveling up the Spellbinder. Yay, an eye twitch. Well, I actually really want to sacrifice this, but it could also block, but it can also get removed. Like, they really do want to exile it, don't they? And we just want to draw a hook. We're just going to do everything we can to draw this hook. Even if it involves killing ourselves in the process. Right, Amalgam. I guess I'll take a Fumes. Do we want to play Aghast? Not really. Because I might want to flash in this Amalgam. I'm also holding back so they can't play a Skyclave Apparition, exile Stinger, and get in with the Aspirant. It's pretty good. Pretty good. That thing's gotta go. Owie. So, pests, yeah. How about a hook? I'd like a hook. Hopefully no more evasive creatures for a minute, so our stingers can trade off. God, I hate you. You suck, mono white. Alright. For my next trick, we draw a Divide by 0. Can bounce the app and make a 3/3, but it won't have Death Touch. I think we just do this. They don't know about the Amalgam or the Divide, so there's shenanigans we can pull here. They go Haven. They put counters on the Haven, how do we deal? Just chump with the Shambling Ghast, I guess? But then drawing Hook doesn't solve the problem anymore. We could also counter the activated ability here. Weird, but I'm doing it. There's a few cool things I can make happen. Not exactly what I'm sure you thought you'd see today, but there it is. I need them to run out of gas. I know it's asking a lot, but we need it. And I need to draw things that aren't land. Alright, if I divide get teachings, play land, I can cast teachings and draw 2, or I can just play the stinger. Life total's getting low, though. Sun's getting real low. I still think this is it, though. We need a Death Toucher to block a pumped up Haven. Bring me cards, make them good. There we go. Yes. We even got the Field of Ruin. Don't need to show them that, though. Blue, blue. Let's go another blue. Play you. Yes, it hurts me. Something must defend the land. Let's see how they use this turn. Adeline's pretty good. But what are they going to throw into the zombie muck? One of their havens? Awesome. Didn't want to take that damage anyway. Think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One left over. We don't want to give them a chance to block with the Skyclave Apparition, and if we do an all-in attack, it's obvious what we're doing. So we attack with the Amalgam, we Meat Hook for 5, and we play Eye Twitch. Make sure it's a black being held. I could do this emote if I wanted to be evil. But they didn't open the door. Good lord. Relentless over here. Who do we hate the most? Get out, Adeline. We should have it from here. Simple game of dividing things by 0. A 1-mana code spell cleric. Yes! 1 mana, 1/1 vigilance in your constructed deck. Ugh. I don't know, man. If it's a creature deck, does this get there? Does this get there? So slow. In the power of Eye Twitch and Meat Hook Massacre, I place my faith. You're playing mono white and you're 84%. I promise not to tell your parents. They'd be very disappointed. Get it. Why not? Get you some. Getting black and blue and black is... it might be hard. I'm gonna prioritize the hooks against white, though. All right, we got Sun Golded. think I'm just gonna draw 2. I guess then we have to discard. Let's just put this on the battlefield. Maybe they'll kill it with a Brutal Cathara, Skyclave Apparition. That would be awesome because we get it back. Also gives us something to Deadly Dispute if they play an Adeline. There you go, there you go. It's lining up perfectly. Al has 3/3, thank you. All right, they played a Field of Ruin target so we can fix our mana. Battlefield Raptor. Adversary, a little kicks. A little bit of kicks, okay. So I believe we're saying go, and then blocking and Deadly Disputing. Field of Ruin as well. We're gonna get the Field of Ruin cast. Turn on the overcharged amalgams that have been simmering in the hand. The manual taps. The manual taps are coming. Yeah, you wouldn't want the Auto Trapper to screw you out of your Battlefield Raptor. So, yeah, I kill it. What do you think? All right. Blue source for Amalgam. Gain a little life. No blocks to be made. Am I still going to Deadly Dispute this? Because we can hook and keep our 3/3. That's pretty good. They're not going to block it, so I'm going to attack first. Out of there. I mean, I've got Divide by Zero. I've got Meat Hook Massacre. How many times do you want me to do this? Don't activate the Haven here. Don't do it. No. 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 It has summoning sickness. Why didn't it attack, though? Okay. Chill? Weird hand. We've only drawn one Eye Twitch. No other fodder. We really need fodder for our Fell Stingers and Amalgams. But I'll just start flashing these in and attacking for 3 in the air if nothing else happens. Nothing else interesting. Three flash for 4 isn't the most exciting thing in Constructed, but it can get you dead. Let's flip the script here. Do some attacking. Fateful Absence. We could bounce that. We could also Deadly Dispute it. I'm just gonna take the treasure. This is fine. This is absolutely fine. Oh no. No, the manual taps again. Are you gonna block me? Oh my gosh. They're 84% because they're playing the best deck, but they don't know how to play the best deck. Still a skill game at the core, guys. I know people will argue about all the luck and they'll whine about the luck in Magic, but you still do need to understand your roles. A lot of us understand this. We've played other games, we've read articles, we watch YouTube videos. This stuff isn't obvious to everybody. Some would say it's not obvious to anybody, that you have to learn it from doing it. Cards. Hell yeah. It's such a weird hand. No fodder, all meat. But it got the job done. Wow, all blue cards, all black mana. Classic 2-color deck in Arena, am I right? It's about my 5th mono white of the day. No big deal. Whoa, they play green. Cool. Let's go. So we need a way to slow down them growing that thing. I guess Divide resets it, so that's something. This is just cheating, but let's see how they distribute these counters. If they make one big thing, we divide it. If they don't, we massacre it. So, okay, no attacks either. If we play the Shambling Ghast, the next turn we can hook for 2, but we can kill things at 4 using the -1/-1s from the Ghasts. And then we might divide the Meat Hook Massacre later. The opponent's a little stuck on land, and they seem afraid to attack, so we're going to have to grind through a lot of cards to beat them. Wow. Ain't this something? Everybody gets counters. Their mom must be so proud. The hook brings you back. That's not how that works. That's not how Indestructible works, but you may as well try. We've taken everything from them. Feels good. Everything but the 4th. Everything but the 4th. Aspirant. Let's bounce this. Go get Sciences. Get that played so we can double spell next turn. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to grind through a lot of cards, so we need everything to go kind of good. Let's see, is this a draw 3? It's a draw 2, so we'll do... I really do want to bounce the hook, but I think we've got to do this, because we need every card we can get. What other play could there be? Oh, there's the 3rd land. Wonder what else their deck plays besides this card. Since when did you have no limit to the number of Aspirates in your deck? Just all cards that only work with Aspirant. Nice. Nice! All right. How do we torture them, maim them, and then eventually leave them for dead? Let's play this Shade. Let's work on getting as many cards as we can to grind through their next wave. Shade Engine online. Well, we've got another hook. That's going to be nice. We can Fell Stinger like our 2-1 and then have another Death Touch on the field. Or we could save that till after we do the hook. Let's just do this. Nice and careful. One little bit at a time. I'm sure they have Snakeskin Veil or whatever. Boom! 7/7. The Hamlet Vanguard is here, and it can have lifelink and indestructibility. Next level. Well, I guess we can't mess around with that. I don't think they'll have the wherewithal to sacrifice the escort, give the Hamlet lifelink, and then block. If we attack all, they see through this, and we have to spend more mana on our hook. Now we can rebuild our board. Let's see if they learn from last time this doesn't do anything. I mean, there's also no downside. You may as well try. Oh wait, indestructibility! I'm an idiot. It doesn't do anything for me. Well, at least it can't have lifelink next turn. It has to bounce off this eye twitch. I forgot you have to do the whole 7 with -X. Silly me. I knew that too. I explained that in a previous video. Well, it's over anyway, but another good lesson for everybody at home. The weird thing is you can know it and still mess it up, because you just, if your brain isn't completely active, you get visually tricked by the way it displays toughness on Arena. Wow, 672 versus 627. It should be a battle for the ages. Eye Twitch in the house. Opponent does not play an Eye Twitch, but they had something there. Blood Chief's Thirst? Probably. Not sure if I'm sacrificing this. Let's see what goes on here. We might want to Fell Sting it instead to have a 3/2. Oh, blue. Blue-black. Let's see what happens. We can always play Pest Summoning next turn and set up for the Fell Stingies. Okay, they're not doing anything. So we're going to draw 1, 2, 3 cards, then 4. Our opponent has 6 in hand, so Teachings is off the table. Let's just grab the summons. There's a Shade. But is that the play? I usually love having the Shade down, but Summons here lets us exploit a few times for the Amalgams and the Stingers, so let's go for it. If we draw a land next turn, we could hold up Divide by 0 and play Shade, and our opponent with the Celestis. Yeah, we're gonna miss land. Should we just hold up the Amalgam, though? It lets the opponent have the free loot from the Celestis, so probably not. I think I'm trying to keep drawing land here. Wow. Can't do it. You just can't do it. Some days this deck, I swear it's possessed by an evil spirit. Alright, Shadow's Verdict would be a tilt. Massacre is annoying, but we'll survive. It was all fodder anyway. Still no land. Hey, what's it gonna take for the guy to get his land? Let's try to keep the treasures. Or do we want to be aggressive? Maybe I'm supposed to be aggressive here. Opponent's definitely representing a control Leer type deck, and I'm not holding up counter spells. Let's play the Shade. If we untap with a creature, we can start using Amalgam and Divide for tempo while dealing damage. That's what we need to do to start winning the game. We haven't been able to do it because we haven't been able to deploy our threats, so let's get them deployed. Yeah, there's the Blood Chief's Thirst we sussed out earlier. Still not a land. If we pass, they get the free life and the free loot. So frustrating. I think we just say go, and we start flashing these in on end step to create some kind of pressure. We have to exploit in order to counter an ability, so I'm not going to counter like the trigger of the Celestis. I don't think that's good enough or important enough. What about that trigger? Okay. Must be nice. Do we just walk into that again? It is unfathomable how I can't draw land in this game. But I'm going to keep trying. I have not given up that I will draw land sometimes. Eventually I'll be able to hold up Divide by 0, but I have to pressure them more. Like, I think last turn was a pretty big mistake because there was just not enough pressure. We should just be playing out our threats until they deal with them. Yeah, definitely a Leer deck. So coming up here, Leer is going to be on the menu. They're going to want to cast it, so we're going to need to divide it. But now we have some damage coming in. I can't do Divide and Amalgam. I can hold up double Divide. I've got to hope that one is enough, I think. Go ahead, counter it. Interesting. So it's on daytime, and that's why. Let's try flashing one in. Make them Jwari it or counter it or something, then they don't get the trigger. Or they take 12. 12 is a lot. They're thinking about this one. Why now? Now they don't get the free loot. I guess because I'm tapped out, they feel that they need to kill something now? To the top. To the top is scary. Let's play this gassed and say go. Divide the hook. I hear the hook brings you back. And then they can have 3 mana open and they kept on top. See if they can do it again. Uh-huh. Of course they'd have another. Plenty of cards to go, mostly because there's no land in our deck. So we need to rebuild a board. We're up to 55% to draw land. That is a bit above average. Weird timing, but I guess they want the full teachings. Yeah, that makes sense. Never mind. They can attack with a Hive and exile a Shade, but they take the shields down. Yeah. Dirtle decks have to dirtle. They have no respect for the Shades, do they? They probably have Vanishing Verse in there somewhere because they have the white source. They discard Shadow's Verdict. That can't be good for me. We've drawn 4 Divide by Zeros. And I can't really do anything with them. They definitely have another Shadow's Verdict, right? Yeah, these cards don't do anything. We gotta start spending them. They're just doing nothing. And our opponent's passing turn just because they want to use the Celestis. So their hand can't be amazing. To the top. Alright, see if we can find a way to shuffle that or stop it somehow. I guess I have to Sciences for land. Because my deck does not have any. Oh my god. I'm dying. Should probably bring out Shades while we can. It does take down the Amalgam, though. Our opponent already showed us they're a Jawari gamer. In a 3-color deck, that's so weird to me, but it happens. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is probably where they leer. They kept on top. I'm not sure what you'd keep. They're going to Celestis again. I mean, I'll play this game. I've got to get these out of my hand, and I got to have lands. So we'll do this all day. Float of mana, cool. Well played. Could play this as a 5/3 and use Divide, but I think it'd better just have a multitude of threats because that gets bounced too easily. We can hold up 2 Divides here and an Amalgam. And these attack for 6. Could also play the Eye Twitch. I do need to keep deploying stuff. Could also deploy the Reaver. I feel like Shadow's Verdict is going to happen, though. And casting Divide by 0 twice on Shadow's Verdict is really close to lethal for me. Not quite, but it's trying. End. We can also flash in the Amalgam on end step if they don't do that. Yeah, if they blink the wrong way here, we can still win this game. The hooks are canceling each other out, but we could bounce their hook on end step. That's gotta go. None of these are amazing, but I guess I'll take the fumes. Maybe scare them from casting Leer again. Yep. What don't I have time for? Yeah, they're taking a lot of damage here. They play the Jwari. So how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. I can get them to 2. I can't bounce their hook anymore because I had to use both Divides. Think. We definitely need to have Amalgam available for all the nonsense we're going through next turn. It would be nice to surprise them with the Fell Stinger. So do we power up Hive? We can't do that and play Amalgam, so no. We have to make sure Shadow's Verdict doesn't happen, and the opponent has enough mana for Leer and Verdict. So we gotta do this. We've got to hold up Amalgam. It has to actually resolve. So we've got 4 other mana to work with. Play around one more Jwari. Let's do it. All right, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's check this graveyard. 2 Divide by Zeros. 2 Blood Chief's Thirst. I think we have to let this resolve and then stop the Verdict. Oh wait, spells can't be countered. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So we flash this in, and then we menace, and then we stinger? Do we have enough mana to do it all? They do have Fading Hope. So probably not. Had to counter the Leer. If I counter the Leer, the Amalgam survives the Verdict. They're gonna bounce it right now, huh? Do they have a way to gain life here? I don't see one. Just the Celestis, right? So if I hit him for 3, then maybe I could Fellstinger the last few points. I should just exile the Leer and then worry about that later. Brain's working slow today. Bear with me. The opponent doesn't want to play into the Amalgam, of course. Although it would have to sacrifice itself. Wonder how many Jwaris they run in this pile. I think they'll definitely play the Celestis. Don't know what else makes sense. By the way, 59% chance to draw a land now. It's one of the highest I've seen from, like, a naturally played game. It's not great when you're trying to close. They only have one timeout left. All right, they're out now. Okay. If it's a disconnect or their iPad battery died, that's pretty fat. That's sad. We were having quite the scrap. Time to make a play. Time to make a play. Okay. Too bad. And we are back for the post-game wrap, and it's hard to say what I would remove from a deck when you're winning. The winning is the good, you know? Nothing feels bad when you're winning most of your games, and that game against Esper was just a really tough one with a really kind of bizarre draw where we could not hit land for the life of us. But the deck does run 26 of them when you're counting Agadeem's Awakening, so most of the time that shouldn't be a problem, and I think it needs to because you have to keep bringing back Skyclave Shade more and more. You really do want to play a land every single turn. So what would you change? So here's my thoughts behind some of the cards that are not in the deck. Let's go with Skullport Merchant. Skullport Merchant has served Blood Money type decks very well, but this isn't quite a Blood Money deck, and I like Fellstinger a lot better because it hits harder and gets you the cards up front. It's much more of a tempo deck. We don't have any Planeswalkers. There's no Sorens and no Lulths. I think both of those are very, very good cards, and I would love to somehow incorporate both of them. If I played this in a best of 3 setting, I'd probably have some amount, like 3 to 4 Planeswalkers in my sideboard, to be able to pivot my strategy into a value plan against more control-y decks and more mid-rangey decks that might be better prepared for me after sideboarding. But I can't find room for them in the main deck, and I think the current build that actually hits the opponent hard and fast before they really know what's going on is much better in that way. So yeah, I would not add the Planeswalkers to the main deck, and I wouldn't adjust the mana base for Blood on the Snow. I think that the way it's set up now, we're not trying to cast a 6-mana sorcery. I think those are a pretty tough thing to do in the current format, and Overcharged Amalgam game just kind of lets us play this flash game along with Divide by Zero, where we just get a couple of threats onto the battlefield, attack a few times, and then we just keep them from going anywhere, and we finish the job, and it actually catches people by surprise. So there are a few other cards. Interesting idea is an interesting idea? Inspiring idea, maybe? Still learning my new card names. No, that's not it. I know it's idea. Inspired idea. This is an interesting card, but you saw how often we had 7 cards in hand in those games. I have a feeling that if I ever didn't cleave this, I would play the game to regret it. So I don't think it's a great idea. Another card that I'm thinking about for this shell is the Hullbreaker Horror. And trust me, this will be the star of some videos in the very near future. I've been working on shells for this. I only have about 12 different lists that I'm trying Hullbreaker Horror in, and I have no idea which one is actually good. This card in this deck, I don't think we have enough like instants to play with it. You know, like we don't have that many ways to instant speed activate the card. So that's a little bothersome, but maybe I'm overestimating it. It does say whenever you cast a spell. It doesn't say whenever you cast an instant or sorcery like these cards often do. So every Shambling Ghast could bounce something. 7 mana, though, is a lot. And I think the deck as it is designed to be faster than that. Once you add this and you put this next to Overcharge Amalgam, next to some other stuff, you head a different direction with the deck. I am curious to see where that goes, so you'll probably see some combination of the Amalgam and Hullbreaker Horror in the near future. Anyway, lots more new cards and lots more decks coming your way over the coming days. I am a little behind the scenes. For those of you who stayed till the end, leave me a comment. Always like knowing that people actually watch this whole thing, because if I only look at analytics, it shows like a big drop off down to almost nothing. There's like 20% of you left, but you get a behind the scenes peek for being the absolute coolest. So I'm going to Vegas. If I record 2 videos a day, every day, starting with yesterday, till the day my flight takes off, then I could have the streak completely fulfilled for the time that I'm away in Las Vegas. So, we're cranking them out. This was a longer one with a longer outro, and it's definitely because I had a lot of fun playing the deck. But if some of them are a little shorter, it's because I'm trying to get the job done. Not because I don't love you, because I'm trying to put it all together. As I've held it down for over 1,000 days, we keep holding it down. So thank you for bearing with me. Hope you enjoy the content. And as always, I will see you in the next video. You are cool.